The world recently witnessed a horrific, high-profile political assassination, and while amateur and professional investigators try to determine the motivations for the killing of Charlie Kirk, I want to revisit the story of one aspiring assassin to show the motivations of one group of violent actors. 17-year-old Nikita Casap is accused of killing his parents in February of 2025. Federal investigators allege Casap seemingly killed his parents to obtain the financial means and autonomy needed to carry out a plan to assassinate President Trump. An affidavit filed on March 18, 2025, details what authorities found on his device. They found materials related to Order of Nine Angles, O9A. There are chats in which he describes himself as an adherent. There was a manifesto titled, "Accelerate the Collapse." The affidavit summarized the evidence they gathered. In sum, Casap appears to have written a manifesto calling for the assassination of the President of the United States. He was in touch with other parties about his plan to kill the president. He paid for, at least in part, a drone and explosives to be used as a weapon of mass destruction to commit an attack. Other parties with whom Casap was in contact appear to have been aware of his plan and actions and to have provided assistance to Casap in carrying them out. And so what was his motivation for selecting Trump as a target? The manifesto found on his phone states, "As to why specifically Trump, I think it's obvious. By getting rid of the president and perhaps the vice president, that is guaranteed to bring in some chaos. And not only that, but it will further bring into the public the idea that assassinations and accelerating the collapse are possible things to do." The affidavit alleges Casap told a classmate he was in contact with a male in Russia via telegram, and they were planning to overthrow the government and assassinate President Trump. He told the classmate when they saw 10 consecutive attacks in the news, that would be him. The affidavit shows texts with an individual using a Ukrainian cell phone number, and they indicate this is the person who led Casap to believe there were 10 other actors operating within the U.S. And this person also seems to have led Casap to believe that after his attack, he would be relocated to a Russian-speaking region of Ukraine. The affidavit also alleges Casap had information for implementing drone attacks on his device, and it contains texts with another individual in which he's discussing obtaining the materials for carrying out this attack. Casap's TikTok account contained videos. This video has 2 copies of a Temple of Blood book on display. It indicates that he had familiarity with Temple of Blood, but the video itself was not produced by him. I've seen it on a YouTube channel belonging to the founder of Temple of Blood. His TikTok account also contained images of O9A sigils and blood pacts. And so while I can't say whether or not he produced these images himself, I did want to use the opportunity to explain what these represent and also to provide excerpts from O9A original texts and Temple of Blood original texts to show what they are about, what their aim is, and to show what people who are reading their texts are being exposed to. And so what did those drawings in those images from Casap's TikTok represent? They represent the practice of O9A satanic rituals. Temple of Blood explains the point of the exercises is to help the practitioner to shed their humanity and say it will hasten the influx of sinister entities which will possess the individual and then fuse or abolish with what could be termed the base personality. Temple of Blood explains, you will become a vessel carrying certain knowledge, insight, and energies. An orthodox interpretation of an individual who is a Nexian would be someone who is considered possessed. Your aim with these exercises is to become as a demon in the flesh fully demonized with total disregard for the edicts, utterances, conventions, and morals of the slave race known as humanity. Looking back at the Nikita Casap case, who were the individuals communicating with Casap about his violent plans? There has only been one lead provided to the public thus far. Terragram admin Dallas Humber signed a plea agreement stating that she and the Terragram collective inspired and guided Nikita Casap. But she was already in jail by the time of some of these communications, so the story does not start and end with her. Were there truly 10 other domestic actors ready to carry out attacks with him? Or was that a myth used to mobilize Casap? If they were real, how much did Casap's arrest impact their plots? We don't know, but I found it interesting Casap was able to intuit his handler may have been coordinating with 10 other violent actors with completely different ideologies than his. And I do hope that with recent events, the alleged stated aims of Casap aren't realized, because he is said to have written that he wanted to bring into the public the idea that assassinations and accelerating the collapse are possible things to do.